The main exhibition of new motorcycles and ATVs Motospring 2023 took place in Moscow. Its exposition was dominated by Chinese motorcycles, ATVs and scooters. But at the exhibition there were many motorcycles of famous world brands, as well as domestic motorcycles. Let me remind you that there are only 2 motorcycle manufacturers left on the territory of the former Soviet Union today. The first of these manufacturers is located in Belarus. It produces motorcycles from Chinese components under the well-known brand Minsk in the country. The second manufacturer is larger and more reputable. He produces motorcycles under the brand name Ural. Before the start of the Russian-Ukrainian war, these motorcycles were exported to many countries of the world and completed with components and assemblies from leading world manufacturers. The most interesting thing is that Ural motorcycles are produced exclusively in the version with a sidecar. This is a replica of BMW motorcycles from the mid-40s of the last century, but their design has been improved. For example, the bulk of Ural motorcycles are produced with a drive not only on the rear wheel, but also on the sidecar wheel. This significantly increases the cross-country ability. The exhibition showed a significant increase in the interest of Russian buyers in buggies. These are quite advanced Chinese buggies with a chassis like an ATV, including a fully independent suspension, a motorcycle engine, a continuously variable transmission and all-wheel drive. But such buggies have a more comfortable car fit and the usual car controls. There is a roof over the cab, and in the cab there are often not 2, but 3 places, and there are doors, albeit not always full ones. Most of these buggies have a spacious cargo platform in which you can carry a significant amount of cargo. Moreover, in some cases, this platform is made to tip over like a dump truck body. The power unit is installed under the platform, and the cost of such buggies largely depends on its working volume. You can use such buggies with the right to drive a motorcycle. There is a lot of off-road in Russia, so the appearance of an off-road motorcycle at the exhibition is not surprising. It is called ATV2X2 Electro. This is an all-wheel drive motorcycle. Its front wheel is equipped with an electric motor. The rear wheel is also powered by an electric motor. On the frame of the motorcycle you can see a large unit with a filler neck. Since the power reserve on batteries is not very large, the designers prudently supplied the motorcycle with a generator. That is, it is a hybrid motorcycle. Such a 3-wheeled vehicle is called a reverse tricycle or a reverse tricycle by specialists. This model was made by the famous Russian workshop Shift Custom on the basis of the BMW R18 cruising motorcycle and externally stylized as the BMW 328 Sports Roadster developed in the 1930s. The oldest Russian manufacturer of motorized towing vehicles, the so-called motorized dogs, is the Pamir company from the city of Arkhangelsk. This company now also makes such universal half-track all-terrain vehicles. In front of the all-terrain vehicle, a 15-horsepower engine with a reverse gear and chain drive is installed. It is possible to use removable caterpillars, which are included in the kit. In the back of the all-terrain vehicle there is a driver's seat, controls and steered wheels, due to the rotation of which the all-terrain vehicle itself also turns. This SUV was developed by the diversified company SPKB Techno from the city of Podolsk. The designers themselves call it a buggy. As befits a buggy, there is a very energy-intensive lever spring-independent suspension with a large wheel travel, high ground clearance and Spartan in execution, but unusually roomy by the standards of classic buggies, a 2-row 4-seater saloon. This buggy was built a year ago, so it has already traveled a lot in various hard-to-reach regions of Russia. Buggy, a very unusual car, was exhibited. In fact, an airplane car with a 3,500 horsepower turbojet engine borrowed from the Yak training fighter. Weight 900 kilograms, fuel consumption 1 liter per second. This car is a champion in speed, having defeated all competitors during the Baikal Mile Festival, held in winter on the ice of the cleanest lake in the world, the famous Russian Lake Baikal. Lake Baikal, not only such monsters competed in speed, but also factory cars, as, for example, the Volga truck used in urban transportation. Its under-cab engine bay is empty, and an inline 4-cylinder diesel engine from a heavier truck is mounted in the middle of the frame. By the way, the truck is all-wheel drive. Air springs are used instead of standard springs in its rear suspension. The exhibition had a whole section for electric vehicles. Most of all in this section, Chinese motorcycles of various types and for various purposes were presented. but you could also see electric motorcycles of famous brands in the world. For example, this electric Harley-Davidson, or this electric BMW C4 with a 31 kilowatt engine. In Russia, the electric direction in transport is almost not developed. Occasionally there are various exotic projects that are made by enthusiasts, or such experienced electric robots with electric motors. These robots are designed for use in closed areas. The most interesting electric vehicles are still imported to Russia from abroad, earlier from the USA and Europe, now from China. Like, for example, this very interesting, comfortable and well-made C01 sedan, developed by the Chinese company Leapmotor. The declared power reserve is more than 600 kilometers. But the demand in Russia, and even then not very high, is only for electric scooters. And for electric motorcycles and electric cars, the demand is very low. We can say that it is completely absent. The main reason for this is the lack of infrastructure for recharging batteries. Because the majority of solvent residents in Russia do not live in individual houses, but in multi-story apartment buildings, and they have no way to charge their electric cars at night. Therefore, until a large number of charging stations appear in Russia, the demand for electric vehicles will remain very low.